Well, we're on the air. We are here. We are here on tonight. Men's Around the Table. Let me welcome all of you to the Men's Around the Table. Certainly, it's a good day today. It's a blessed day. I hope you have enjoyed your day on today. I hope that you have found a positive point in your day. If you had a negative part of your day to hit, I hope you took it and squeezed all the sour out of it, and put it in the pitcher and added some good alkaline water in it and poured some sugar in it and stirred it up and poured it over some ice. Let me tell you, ain't nothing like some sweet homemade lemonade. When life throws you sour lemons, make good of it. Never waste your negative impact to not capitalize on it. I want to say that again. Let me reiterate it another way. Always capitalize on your sour points in your life. Never not capitalize. Tonight is a good night. It's Monday. Monday night, the May the 8th, 2023. And certainly this men's round table tonight. And we have a good topic tonight. If you will look at the string, you will find out it's church girls versus club girls. And one of the most strongest tactics I want to deal with tonight is the independency of church girl versus a club girl. We're going to get off into that. I want to make a few announcements as we move forward and wait on the different the co-hosts. Should he make it? The Dr. Stevens, should he make it? These men have a job and they have a life. Uh, the show is not completed solely dependent on them. There'll be times that they will not be on, and there'll be times I will be on by myself. Anyway, your calls are welcome. You can call in at any given time and be a part, and we will be greatly appreciative to you being a part. So anyway, let me make these few announcements before we get off into the topic. We will, and I know this sounds probably going to be so disappointing to many of you, we will definitely be leaving Facebook Live starting in 120 days. I will get that date down. You will start seeing commercials. You will have to go to Amazon Fire TV. You will have to go to Roku TV. You will have to go to Apple TV to get these shows. They will no longer be advertised on Facebook and other social media sites. So you will only get a small clip. A small clip of the apps are finished, and you will have to go there and download it in order to keep up with the television show. I want to let any and all know as we are making arrangements to come up to show you that this is not something that you can just do on YouTube, that you can just do on Facebook. This is actually television, and a lot of you don't know it, but it actually is television, and it's real. So certain platform will be cut out until further notice. We will also have it where you will be able to I'm sorry about that. You will be able to make access to. So we're gonna give you a walkthrough soon. 128 days from now, this will no longer be a platform that we will use. You will have to have the Roku television. You will have to have the Apple television. You would have to have the Fire TV. You will have to have Channel 38 local here in Houston, Texas, as we make our way to Comcast and make our way to DirecTV. We're already set and go, but it takes work. It takes work. They're working on the bandwidth, setting everything in rotation, and we're also getting the channels together to move aggressively forward. Some of you been on the channel already, and you've seen it. It's stagnated, and it is stagnated for a reason. The what you call that? The video on demand is all over the place. It's stagnated for a reason because they're working. We are working in the background to put that thing as a setup. So you're going to see something just like you were watching BET. You're going to be watching EFI Television Network the same way on that type of platform and level. So be ready to move forward with this. All right. Now this church girl versus club girl. It's a very distinctive subject because it looks like that church girls is in the same position as a club girl. I mean, what's the difference in the church now? They're using the church as a place to uh, social network. They're going there to get a date, hopefully to marry a man. I never seen so many church girls want to be married to a preacher, to a pastor, because one day they want to be a first lady. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, being a church girl you should not look like the world. You just should not be. So the topic tonight we want to get off into understanding the difference between the church girl versus the club girl. The club girl is supposed to go to the church dressed as if she is a nobody, as if she is a person that play games and joke about, and she's supposed to be in that realm. She's not saved. She is not fit to make sure that her way is made. She's depending on her own self to become that aggressive someone and somebody. She has become that person of interest to someone who is not a church boy. I'm talking about a club girl. She is interested in being with someone who can and who will do for her on the strength that she wants to be done. Not on God's terms, but her terms. Her terms implicates that we should be at her disposal. But what I like about club girls is they don't play game. They straightforward. They talk about what they need, what they want, and what they shall have. They don't beat around the bush. They don't play games. Club girls will tell you, I'm seeing him and I like him, but if you and I have an interest with each other, we can have an interest with one another. We can do this, we can do that, and church girl. I've been in church all my life. Church girl. My goodness, I'm trying my best to keep from going so deep with this subject until it's unreal, because church girls can pretty much, they can sanction some things. They'll tear down, they'll destroy, they'll remove. They will not quit until it's all dead and destroyed. If they are put in a position where their emotion, feelings. I think there was something that was said. Hell has no fury concerning a scorned woman. If a woman is scorned, let me tell you, boy, I tell you, I'm speaking for what I've seen. I've never had a ludicrous one that come after me. I've never had that problem with a ludicrous around me. But I will say this here. I've seen it happen. I've seen the fatal attraction happen. And most of them are girls who went to church. Girls who went to church. How do we distinguish the difference between those who went to church and those who did not go to church? I'm interested in finding out the capital the capital of their behavior. Why? I understand that men lie. I understand that men lie, and most of the time, if we can keep it real tonight, Uh, you got more folks lying in the church than they lying and then they lie in the club. I'm just gonna tell you, they play more games in the church than they play in the club. I used my club right there in Shreveport. We we them girls was straightforward. If they was gonna be with you that night, they didn't care. They wasn't worried about who thought what did. I mean, they did it, and they got with us, and they got with us, and they didn't care. And a lot of women is, I think, came in the church and got hurt in the church. I want to say that part as we go deeper into the independencies of a woman. Uh, a woman, a woman who is independent in the church can become a nightmare to a man, especially if he's a pastor. A scorned woman, she can become a nightmare. She will build only if she can win and capitalize on it. Her independency is always at hand, and she's going to make sure that she keep, because the older women told her, make sure you save enough for yourself. Make sure that you keep enough for yourself. Make sure that you know that at the end of the day, child, you got to make some room for yourself. You got to keep some things for yourself, because if that man quit today or tomorrow and move on with some other woman, you got to make sure that your secure is there. Your safe haven is there. Your all of that you need and want is there. This is what the older women have taught the church girl. Now, when you go deal with the club girl, she don't care anything about what you have. Been there, done that. She doesn't care about what you have. She doesn't care about what's it going to be. She doesn't care about what it is. She doesn't care about what you have and what you don't have. She's interested in getting in there with you and help you build. But brother, if we hurt her, if we hurt her, she will retaliate. Versus a church girl, man, you might as well get ready to lose everything you got. A church girl, woo, a church girl will destroy you. A church girl, man, let me tell you, boy, a church girl. And now my greatest problem with church girl is now that you come to church and you half naked. Why do the church girls look like the club girls? What is the problem? Why is she seeking notoriety in the church from a man rather than from a God? Because when you go to the club, they dress accordingly to catch a man's eye and attention. Eye and attention. But when they come to church dressed up like they're in the club. I'm talking about church girls versus club girls. There should be a difference. That number is called in live right there on that ticket. Some of you might have questions or thoughts you would like to share. I don't have a problem with you call in to that number. I'll take your phone call and hear what you have to say concerning this topic. I know it's early in the show, but let's get off into it, because number one, the reason why church girls are hurt more than anything, because we never got to know your inside, your mind. We never got to know any of that because you introduce us to your body. Versus a girl that's in the club, she will introduce you her body, but you ain't getting close to her until she can communicate with you. Now, for some of y'all that say I'm wrong, call in. Because I used to go to the club. Yes, I used to go to the club. I used to be in the club. In fact, had one, me and a friend of mine right there in Bossier City. I had one there. And we had a good time with it. It was fun. We ran it for a while and ran it and ran it and ran it. And in fact, I gave up my first church to pastor. Faith Tabernacle Revival Center right there in Shreveport on Madison Boulevard, Madison Avenue, right there in Shreveport. I gave up my first church because I wasn't ready to give up my club because I wasn't through with my women. I wasn't through with my weed. I wasn't through with my alcohol. And I was taught growing up in the church, do not play with God. Don't play with God. Whatever you do, don't play with God. So nowadays, the church, now I'm just going through the statistics of it. And I'm not saying that the women's are the cause of this. But there is more women in the church that has AIDS than women that are in the club. I'm going to say it again. There's more women in church with AIDS than there are women in the club. There are more hurt, scarred women in the church that are in the club. I'm just showing you the balance here of what's going on. It's almost you better off in the club than you are in the church. And I know some of you say, woo, that's a strong statement for you to make sure. It's true. You're almost better off in the club than you is in the church. Because if you're going to play, you better stay in the club. Because if you come over into the church and you play in how God leave plagues like AIDS and others, cancerous and all that kind of stuff to hit your body, to plague up your body. To plague up your body. It leaves you can't play in the house of God. You can't play in the house of God. And what's happening now versus the club and the church, you can go to the club and come out happier than you can come out of the church. Because everything in the club is in there already done made up their mind. Listen, I'm messed up anyway. I'm already tore up from the floor up. I'm already jacked up. Listen, and they ain't here with me. They jacked up. Guess what? They're not having a party in there. They're not having a party of hurt. They in there having a good time. They're smoking their problems away. They are drinking their problem away, or they're being intimate in there. You have a whole lot of men who go to gentleman clubs. Some of y'all don't know what a gentleman club is. It's a club where men go to have communication outside of their wife, children, and just sit and spend time looking at a woman, wait on her to come down there to him, and he give her a few dollars or whatever he gonna give her, and she has an intimate moment with his mind, not with his body. A club girl understand that first natural, then spiritual. A church girl got it backward. First spiritual, then natural. I'm going to say this tonight for a lot of women on here that need to understand this. You might not like it. That's your problem, but live with it and deal with it. I'm not going to give you some winky-dink message to make you happy to stick around me. I'm going to hurt your feelings, and then you're going to come back around because you're going to soon see that I'm telling the truth. You cannot love God first and don't love your husband first. You can't do that. Your husband is first, then God. I know y'all about to get offline. Goodbye, adios, amigo. The book says first natural, then spiritual. You cannot put your husband second to God. Your husband come first. The book says in the book of Genesis, you must have the desire. Your first desires is to your husband, ladies, not to God. You cannot put your husband second. I'm going here, I'm going there, and I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going here. The Bible says that the woman is to submit to her husband. Then they got this thing going around that, oh, follow him as he follow Christ. That ain't nowhere in the scripture. The phone number is right there at the bottom. Call in with your questions and your comments. You see the ticker rolling down the bottom. Call in. I'll take any challenge on this. The church girl is why more divorces is in the church than it is in the club. The girl in the club still got her husband, but the church girl who goes to church to worship God does not have her husband. Now here's an antagonizing moment, and this could hurt. But I'm going to get into this, and then I'm going to hit it, and then we're going to come back to it again with some other pastors and other friends. By the way, after tonight, this show will be revised. Let me just put that on the table tonight. There'll be new guys on here with me that will be able to withstand. We love Dr. Stevens, but as of tonight, it's no more. We love Dr. Bard, but as of tonight, he is no more on this show. They have jobs, they have responsibility, we get it. But as of tonight, I'm going on with new people. So next week, we're going to be really getting off into some heavy topics and moving on with the show. I want to deal with tonight what I heard in my ears. Men have become so hateful toward women as they have turned toward God and said, I did not ask for this woman. Just like Adam said, it was that woman you gave me that made me eat of this fruit, and now we're naked. Men are saying now, why did you give us this woman in the beginning? It's been chaos after chaos after chaos since she have been born. Since she has been given unto us. We have had to clean up. We've had to fix up. We had to tear things down. We've had to do all kind of things to try to keep this woman from getting in this and getting in that, and she's still up and down getting into everything. What do we do as a man? We're tired. We're fed up. She won't listen. She's do what she want to do. I constantly have to take care of the household, take care of me, and then convince her to do what is need to be done concerning us. She put the children before me. She put the church before me. She put her job before me. That's the independency. She put everything before me as a man. And she had the nerve to tell me, I'm going to God. Well, I've checked with quite a few men, and they're saying this is why they are single, and this is why they are going to remain single. And this is what they are saying. Men saying, I am not going to be responsible. I'm not going to be responsible for her any longer. I'd rather be by myself. I'd rather take care of myself. I'd rather be alone by myself. I'd rather just to remain alone. Because all this time in my life, I have had this woman and it's been nothing but chaos. Wait a minute. This is what they're also saying. I have given away this woman. Got another woman, and she is messed up. Then I got rid of this woman, got another woman, and she is messed up. Everywhere I turn, they messed up. And then they run to the opposite nationality. When they run there, they build with that man. And some of it is good, and some of it just as bad. I ain't putting down no nationality tonight, but they put down and they tear down. And so men have become to saying, now I don't care what our nationality is, I'm just not finna fool with none of them. What the book says, I better not say that one, but yeah, I think I'll dip in and leave it alone. The book told the man to go get a Philistine woman, pay her for her service that is rendered, and leave her. Let her be. Let her go about her way. Let her do what she do. Just take care of the Philistine woman. It's right there in the Bible. I know y'all are having some freaked out moments with me tonight, but this is a talk show. You're welcome to call in. You're welcome to deal with it. You're welcome to deal with it as I walk with this. Because at this point, I think it's enough of patting the women's on the head. I think it's enough for the women to stop patting the men's on the head and going through life miserable when you can change and talk. You know, I found out in a lot of marriages what the problem is. Lack of communication. Lack of communication. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to say how they really feel. No one wants to get off into what is really happening in their life. No one wants to really deal with the trouble. No one wants to deal with the trouble. No one wants to deal with the trials and the tribulation. Everybody wants to just go along to get along. And then when the children is all grown, then they want to expand their horizon. They're ready to leave the marriage. They're ready to go. My granddad told me years ago, talking, he said the first problem is that's going to mess up these future marriages and relationships is that they are not sharing anymore. I said, what do you mean about sharing? He take her to dinner, she take him. He said, no. He said, when we was coming up back in the day, there was only one toothbrush in the house that belonged between me and my wife and your grandmother. He said there was only one cup to share. There was only one plate, one fork. There was only one of everything, one sink, one toilet. And bless our hearts, and I got to be guilty. I'm guilty of it on 100%. I got in my bathroom at home, I have a he and she bathroom. I do. It's her toilet is on the other side, my toilet right here, her vanity right here, my vanity right here. And the bathroom is just his and her bathroom together. My granddad told me years ago, when this happens, son, you can believe marriages is going to become destroyed because they're not sharing anything. We can't even hardly drink out of the glass behind each other now. No. You got backwash. we got backwash going on here. But you can kiss each other, wake up to each other with bad breath in the morning, but you cannot drink behind the same person you kiss. You can't eat off the same forkings and plate at the same time. That's why their marriage lasted, because there was nothing that was separated. I don't care if it was one potato, they shared that potato with that one spoon or fork, that one cup, they shared it. When I say they shared it and they ate it together. And they woke up in the morning, they slept in a twin-side bed. You better not put no twin-side bed. Matter of fact, Lord, they can't put no twin-side bed in the house now because we're overweighted now. Or we obese now. Lord, you too close. It's already hot. Lord, it done got hot up now. But he said that there will be the time that things will change. You got the his and her closet. Hers on that side and yours on that side. When I'm coming up, one closet, baby. His clothes, and then they will hang their suits next to the dress. Her dress that she's wearing this Sunday, his suit gonna go with that dress that's hanging in the closet all the way down, line by line. The dress, everything. Her shoes next to his shoes. They had the same underwear drawer. They had the same sock drawer, the same towel. There was nothing inseparable. That was nothing inseparable when it came to them. Now you have a relationship that is inseparable. You got her car, he got his car. What? Nothing wrong with that his and her car now. I'm going to tell you now. But it shouldn't be off limits to the person you married to, or if you're in a serious relationship, it shouldn't be off limits. Church girls versus club girls. Club girls take a chance, and when she get hurt, she don't cry and weep and holler. Church girl look at him and say, I was good to you, baby. You messed over me. Now let me tell you, this here that you had is not going to be no more. But that church girl, she going to come up in there and try to take all your money. She going to get you, baby. She going to get you. And y'all know I'm right, so you should say something in the chat line. I realize it's real. I'm on here by myself tonight, but I can hold my own because I started this thing from zero. I ain't got to have no help. Because what I'm going to spit to you is facts. I'm not going to spit no opinions to you because if I teach you wrong, I'm going to hell. But if I teach you right, your blood is not on my hands so I can get up in the glory. I want the understanding of a church girl versus a club girl. There ought to be a difference. In fact, the church girls should be stronger than the club girl, but the club girl seems to be stronger than the church girl. I don't understand how the girls in the world is stronger than the girl who say that she believe in Jesus the Christ. The church girl pray. The club girl get up and do something. You know, I'll be glad when Ruby, that lady knows she's an evangelist, but that girl can preach. She said she gonna do a club girl gone wild. Hold on, I think we got a phone call coming in.
Press 1 to accept this call.
All right, caller, you on the air.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hi, what is today's topic?
Church girl versus club girl.
Okay, correct. So I need to know, sir, I have a question for you.
Sure.
When was the last time that you've been to a club?
The last time I've been to a club was, about a good 23 years ago.
23 years ago, correct. So I would like to know then, if you've been there 23 years ago, are the statistics still the same as today? Because 20 years ago, a lot has changed. So I'm not sure if you're speaking facts or not, and I would like to rebuttal what it is that you're saying regarding the church girl versus.
Okay, according to the people who I have around me, who I communicate with concerning my topics, and they're probably on here now, which said that we will come on and communicate about it, but they just don't want to show their face. They're saying the club is not changed. It's pretty much the same. It's just a new day and age, but it's the same old game. And I believe it because the good book said that there is nothing new under the sun. I believe that. And facts, and when you talk to church girl, the club girl, you know what they say, the church girl is gone wild. They ain't hardly real. They playing. What they doing, I could do in the streets for free. I ain't going to church to pay my tithes and offer to chase a man down in the church, because that's what 80% of them in there doing. They ain't seeking God, they seeking a man in there. Now, I'm just telling you what they said to me. I'm relating it, and it's more than one. So it's established to me when you got more than one saying it. And I mean, this multitude of girls saying the same thing. This is why they don't go to church, because half of the people in the church is not real.
Okay. And so they're basically saying that both versions of girls are pretty much in the same line.
In the same line, a church girl is no different than a club girl. They're saying that they are the same. Only difference is that in the church, they are playing in the church, and they're not gonna play with God. They'd rather stay in the club and do what they're gonna do, and whatever punishment come up, they'll be just because they are ready to, they have come to the point where they have accepted what they are doing, and they say church girls are in denial.
Okay. I would have to say for the women that are in my age, because I'm in my 40s. So you must be speaking about the Generation X, or maybe the generations that's under us.
Yeah, those millennium, those new millennium. Yeah, that one. That's the one that's saying the same thing as your generation. Let's put it like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think that our age bracket still are pretty seasoned, and there's no comparison to the Generation X, if you don't mind my saying, because I think that there's a big difference. Mm-hmm. However, there may be the same characteristics that an individual may play in the church versus the club. However, on the same account, somewhere along the line, somebody dropped the ball in the church.
That's a fact.
And
that's a fact.
And so to allow, I know we're supposed to come as we are, or what have you, and somewhere along the line, I just think that maybe the elders or maybe the teachers before us didn't teach us, like my grandmother, or my grandmother and her friends, they made sure we didn't chew gum in church, or they put their little handkerchief over our skirt if it was too short or so we wouldn't distract, the men in the church. Now, we've gotten away from that, true enough, but I just think that younger generation, some way or another, they have to be reached. But how do we reach them if we're being categorized as the same, and if we're being looked upon as the same? There's no difference. So how would a man even tell the difference from us?
Well, in my opinion, in the church, will follow up with a fact. In my opinion, it will follow up with a fact. Watch. In my opinion, if the church girl would change from inside out, not from outside in, because you got a whole lot of them wear long dresses now. You got a whole lot of them that wear them down to their ankles. I'm telling you. You can't even hardly see their shoes when they stand there with them dresses on.
True.
But if she would change from the inside, her outside appearance would automatically change. And I think
that takes time. So
wait. I'm with you on that time frame. I'm with you. But how long will it be before the church girl change? I mean, come on. They've been in church 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. You still looking like, come on, would you order club now? Come on. If somebody told you that if you going to go down this route on 35, 45, 610, Beltway 8, and you go down there, there's nails in the road. How many times you got to go down there that same road to find out every time you go down there you getting a flat tire? I mean, I'm speaking openly here, generally. If you going down this road you on and ain't nothing changed, there's something wrong. How long would the church girl know that something is wrong? or having she pricked her heart, and her heart that became a hardness of an artery, and can't communicate, and can't see, and won't change. The question is at the table at the moment is, why are church girls really in church? Now we got some men that done mess these women up, and I'm not gonna negate the fact we as men have destroyed women. But don't be fooled. There's some Jezebel, there's some Esther's. Come on. There's some Delilahs sitting in the church that came in with that purpose to do what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And where does it leave the younger generation millennium? It leaves them hopeless. It leaves them don't want to do nothing, don't want to be a part of no foolishness. You got some girls that go to club that take care of their husband better than a church girl will.
And is that a fact?
These are facts. We're going to do a part 2, and I'm going to bring some of these ladies on there and let them speak. I'm going to sit back and let them talk.
Okay. Okay.
Men are looking for women who are willing to sell out. Be honest with me and yourself. How many women do you know that are in church that are willing to sell out to their husband? I'm talking about 100%. To make him her desire, to live for him, to breathe in him, to become that rib on the inside of him rather than on the outside of him.
Well, first of all, I would just like to say this for the guys that you got in your statistics and from their opinions and or what have you.
Nah, it's just
when
women
it comes
too now.
to church,
it's women
the
too.
church is like a social gathering.
That's what it is. It's a
The church
networking.
should be within you. First of all, your relationship should be with Christ. Because if the church tears down, if the church burn up tomorrow,
Right.
if they don't have any electricity,
Wow.
the church should be within you. Your relationship
Right.
is what matters with God, first of all.
Right.
And so if we realize that, number one, then we can exempt all the other opinions that everybody have to compare a church girl, which is myself, to a club girl.
Right.
I have a relationship with the Lord, true enough. And even when I was trying to go to the club, I couldn't fit in and I couldn't blend.
You've
because
been marked.
why?
You've
the
been
church
marked.
was in me.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't. That's just me. And so some of the girls that I grew up with and some of the females that I hung up with, they still went. And they would still get up and go to church on a Sunday. But the difference is the relationship, the level of the relationship. And I think that the older the person gets, the older that the more mature an individual gets, then they're able to realize at some point or another, this new car don't run as new as it used to. You know, it don't run like a new car anymore. It begins to get old and slow down. Right. And some things have to be added. Right. And so I think that in a scenario like that, in a comparison to a female, us females, or just the individual period, just being compared to a vehicle. When something is new, it's all good. Right. You know, it's fresh.
Oh,
it's new,
boy, it's
you know,
exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And that's even with a relationship. Even when you're going to church, it's exciting. Even when you're going to the club, it's exciting. But you yourself said 23 years ago, that's what you used to do. Yeah. But look at you now. Right. So we can't give up on the individual.
No.
We have to set examples.
No. That's exactly what I'm getting to concerning where are the examples? Our elderly is just dying off. They're just leaving out. Church is not even the same as it was when I was coming up because you see the elderly who taught us is gone. And we have removed the ancient landmark. When you go to the church now, No wonder the church girl look like the club girl because we got disco lights in the church now. We done got rid of the choir and got our two people praise team.
Yeah, you're right.
We got the drum machines now. We got, oh man, we so high tech. What does the church have that the club don't have? Come on, tell me about this one.
What does the church have
that the club don't have? We do know that the spirit of Ichabod is in the church now. We know that. Because there ain't no healing, there ain't no delivering. Poverty is everywhere. The preacher gets up and preach, and you almost know what he's going to say before he said. We so power-packed with scriptures now until we're dead with scriptures. So the church girl looks like what the church has become, a club.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not here to beat up the church girl. I'm simply showing her you are no different than the club girl. And boy, yes, now the secrets in the church next Sunday is going to be mind-blowing because we're going to teach on, are you in church or are you a part of an occult?
Uh-oh.
Because you got a whole lot of dancers in the church now. Everybody dancing. And most of them dances is not real. They are what you call cultural praises.
Okay.
It's cultural praise. It's not a praise that's given unto God. It's a cultural praise. What's the difference between a cultural praise and a praise that is legit that David gave unto God? What's the difference?
Wow, that's going to be a good topic.
It's going to be a hard topic. It's going to be a hard topic. It's going to be a sinking topic because we have turned the church into an entertainer.
That's true.
No wonder the comedy can stand up in the pulpit. Everybody can stand behind them. I remember when I was growing up, you better not get caught in that pulpit playing, jumping, running. Oh, Lord.
I remember that too, yeah. I remember that too.
Now, we let anybody stand up there. They up there with their breath hung out, and you can see everything that they got on from their girders and no girders from the thong. Oh, you don't want me to talk about it. They got on everything standing up there now.
That's true.
You see their cleavage hanging out, and don't let us start to jump. It's allowed to jump out of the pocket, and then we ain't going to talk about that hair. I done seen so many videos on Facebook. They hopping and singing and all of this and that, and they slinging it, and that thing, you know, the wig done fell on the floor.
You right.
It's entertaining. Church girls have become club girls. These men, next week on the men's topic, we're going to talk about the men from the top to the bottom. You are not a man if you cannot provide for your family.
Uh-oh.
You are not a man if you cannot lead your wife. You are not a man if you set out to control her. You are not a man.
Okay. That's going to be a good, interesting topic.
It's going to be an interesting topic. A man builds. A man put together. A man, when he puts something together, it's supposed to be just like on earth as God put the heaven and earth together. It cannot fall.
Okay.
But if you don't put it together, it's going to fall.
Mr. Speaker of the hour, I would just like to say this. There are some women that are still in the church that still have a good relationship with God, enough to carry out such a character that a man will be attracted to and that he can devote himself to. Now, they do have to be weeded out. I do get that. Because the Bible does speak in Revelation, which is a book that nobody wants to read. In the Revelation, the 2nd chapter, it talks about 7 different churches.
Right.
And if you read it, it's in comparison to characteristics.
The Philadelphia churches. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so that's what you're speaking of tonight. So I
Right.
have to agree with that.
Right.
But a person, it's something. If everybody wants to be different, and everybody that has a voice that wants to be heard has to first say something or do something different in order for them to stand out.
Right. Right.
And so the message tonight should be that those of us that are here, that we can set examples to these young ladies and let them see our success, let them see our characteristics and how we carry ourselves, and be true to who we are.
Right.
Then maybe they'll be drawn.
Right. But
Maybe
right
they'll
now,
be drawn.
but right now, the club girl looks stronger than the church girl.
That's true, but our examples need to be set.
Well, where are they, darling? Where are they? When they gonna come out, darling? That's what we want to know tonight. When they gonna step out?
Well, I tell you what, I can't speak for those other women. I can just speak for myself and the group that I attract. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I must say that we still exist.
Yeah.
We are here.
Right.
One will reach one.
Yeah.
One by one. Period. We out here. True enough, we are. And we have been damaged by men.
Oh,
We
boy,
have
don't
been
open
messed
up that can of worms. Don't open up that one. I already talked about they hurt. Scarred woman.
Yeah, you
They
did.
ain't scorned. Woo, scorned. I ain't say scarred. I say scorned. They got a knife in one hand, and they got a blade in the other one, and they got fire the tongue of hell. That the Bible said it's better for a man to be up on the rooftop of a house than to be in a house with a woman raised in hell.
Well,
That's the book.
That's something there.
And hell has no fear of a woman that have been scorned, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
What we got a church full of church girls who are scorned.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't gonna get right because the simple fact they ain't let that hurt go. But you know what else I learned? And we getting ready to exit here in about 8 minutes.
Yes, sir.
I found out that a lot of women don't want to let that hurt go.
No, they don't.
Why is that? Since you on here with me, why is that?
It's almost like the woe is me pity party.
Don't want to
have
take
something to hold on
responsibility.
to.
Don't want to take responsibility. That's number one. Go ahead.
We don't want to take responsibility.
Wow.
That is something that we do sometimes to get attention, to have a man to feel sorry for us, thinking that he will be our healer, and he's not.
Wow.
So most of us can, I'm sure most women out there that can, under the sound of my voice, can understand that sometimes we do that. And we want them to feel sorry for us or give them a reason to stay, a reason to try to stick around. But that's really, that's really not the solution to that particular problem.
It's
so
not.
we do it, and we hold on to our hurt sometimes, and we don't let it go because that's all we've known. And so if we're stepping into an unfamiliar territory, it's kind of scared there. It's the fear of the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen when I let this go, because this has been, you know what I'm saying? So, and how we will be received.
Right.
Because we don't know ourselves how we're going to be received after a change such as that.
Right.
We have to take the risk, and we have to know that if we be real with ourselves, then our man will be real with us. That's all they want.
That's
it.
They
really just want you to be real.
That's it.
And
that's it. That's it right there.
Most men anyway.
Yeah.
They want you to be real.
It's 99.9%. A man can be a dog in the street, the worst one of all. But if that girl open up and communicate with him 100 and he sees it, she changes him and she don't even know it. She can change us. I'm speaking from a man perspective.
Yeah,
she would change a man. Just like that. If she can be real.
You're right. If she can be real. And I must agree to that 100% because I've seen it for myself.
But if she hide, she lie, don't communicate, that man gonna give you exactly what little you giving out. He gonna give it right. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna say this tonight, and I hope it register with somebody. I hope it register with women's period. How in the world do you think you can outsmart what you came from?
Ooh, we can't.
You can't outsmart what you came from. We just sit here and just let the women do what they do. We see what you doing, we will never say nothing. We sit here and just watch you and shake our head because we already know the next move we getting ready to make because of your action.
And so that's a failure on y'all part too, because you should be real yourself.
We are
You're not
real.
being real with yourself.
We are real. We just don't say nothing to the behavior that the woman does. We just sit here and look, giving her a chance to acknowledge, to come to the term, to accept responsibility for what she has done. And if she don't, then we sit there and penalize.
No.
Oh, you want to talk good? We get ready to get off. You want to talk now? Come on, we gonna talk good.
If you don't tell me where I come short with you, then I'll never know it. So I'm gonna go to the next man.
Wait. I shouldn't have to tell the woman, just like she shouldn't have to tell the man where we fell short at. It's called taking responsibility.
Call it out.
No. I can't go with you on that one, Carl. The reason why I can't go with you on that, because we all know when we're doing wrong and when we're doing right.
That's true. So if you telling me that you're going to leave my shoe untied and you know it's untied and you ain't going to tell me that I need to tie my shoe.
Oh, man, and I look down at my shoe and it's untied. I saw you looking at my shoe and you didn't say nothing.
I appreciate it.
Huh?
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I've enjoyed our time together, sir. This has been real interesting. Because if a woman takes criticism from a man, which is the most dominant species, period. So if he would voice the simple fact that, sweetheart, before I let you go, I need to tell you this, such and such and such and such. You don't think she's gonna carry that? And she's going to either change from it or probably act out. But at least he called it out. Because she's going to take that same characteristic. So most men, y'all need to be real too.
I'm with you. But I'm saying to this here, I shouldn't be in a relationship where I have to point out your wrongdoing. You should be able to point out your own wrongdoing and move forward with it. You understand what I'm saying to you? You should be able to move forward with your own wrongdoing without me telling you you're wrong. Okay, let's take a real quick perspective walk. We got 2 minutes left. Listen, when we all die from this world, we're all going to judgment. It's not going to ask us what we did not do. It's going to deal with us, what did we do? And that's called taking responsibility for your action. If we got to go before judgment that way, then we should be taking responsibility with our loved ones or our husbands and wife or whatever relationship that you're in that you're taking serious. You should become responsible and taking accountability for your action. I shouldn't have to tell you certain things in the matter. And I realize I may go to the store and you want some apples and they didn't have any apples. I got me some oranges. And I come home with some oranges. Didn't have no apples. Did you go to another store? No, that's so inconsiderate of you to do. Why would you not? You got what you want. I get that. And we'll argue over the apples and the oranges. I get that. But I'm talking about real life situations when it comes to relationship. I shouldn't have to tell you about certain things. You should know that you done this, take responsibility. Don't let the streets tell me before you tell me.
Okay. But if I don't know, it ain't my fault. If nobody knows.
Oh, no. We gonna do part 2. See you next week, caller.
Sure will. I'll see you next week too.
Yeah. I will see you next week too.
Sir.
Say what?
I'm going to remember this number.
Please do. Next week, we're going to have this caller back on. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that's our time tonight. as we prepare to exit this show. It's been a very interesting topic. We definitely gonna come back to this show. I promise you, we coming back to this one because kind this kind of why don't you show up next week, Monday, at 8 o'clock, right here on Men's Around the Table. We definitely would like to see you and hear what you have to say concerning this subject. Church girls versus club girls. Y'all have a good night, you here, and we'll speak with you at a later time. We love the idea that you are here with us. See you soon.